Hello and welcome to a walking photo tour of Bamburgh. Today we shall be taken in some of the finest sights of this idyllic Northumberland coastal village, which was once the capital of the Kingdom of Northumbria. We begin at the Links Road long-stay car park, where most visitors to the village will park their vehicles. From there we walk in an easterly direction along Links Road and join Front Street. We continue up Front Street, which is home to Bamburgh's few shops, pubs and eateries. At the top of Front Street we turn northwards and head over towards the Great Starling Museum on Radcliffe Road. We then cross over the road and visit the parish church of St Aidan, where the local maritime heroine is buried. We then head back towards the centre of the village via Church Street, before walking around the grounds of the Bamburgh Castle Cricket Club and to the dunes behind Bamburgh Castle. We then follow the dunes around the eastern wall of the castle before returning to the Links Road car park, where our walking tour ends. The total distance is about 2.6 kilometres, with a walking time of about 40 minutes. The route is easy walking within the village of Bamburgh, but the dunes are quite tricky underfoot. The current incarnation of Bamburgh Castle was built by the Normans in the 11th century, but a fortress was first documented at the site in around 547 AD. The magnificent Grade 1 listed castle stands on a mighty outcrop of the Great Wind Sill, a vast expanse of igneous rock that lies beneath much of the northeast of England. Towering 150 feet above sea level and dominating the skyline for miles around, the site of Bamburgh Castle must have been a daunting prospect for approaching enemy armies. Over the years, the castle has seen much conflict and changed hands on several occasions. In the late 19th century, the castle came into the ownership of reputed Tyneside engineer William Armstrong, and it remains in the Armstrong family to this day. The castle is open to visiting members of the public, and there is a lot more information on its website. We are currently walking along the B1340 Links Road, which connects Bamburgh to Alnwick in the centre of Northumberland. Just behind the fence on the right hand side are the grounds of Bamburgh Castle Cricket Club. Our footage today has been filmed in the early morning, so you may notice that the position of the shadows changes as we walk around the route. As you can see, it's an absolutely glorious sunny day with blue skies and not a cloud to be seen. The next building on the left hand side is the Lord Crewe Hotel and Restaurant, which offers quality accommodation and fine dining only a stone's throw away from Bamburgh Castle. The hotel has 7 stylishly decorated rooms, which range in price from around £90 per night in low season to £150 per night in high season. The bar restaurant, which is dog friendly, has a menu packed with the finest quality locally sourced dishes. It regularly receives rave reviews on TripAdvisor and the like. We are now walking up Front Street, which has a stunning backdrop of Bamburgh Castle along its entire length. Front Street is the home of the few shops, pubs and eateries in Bamburgh. One such eatery, the Copper Kettle, is on the left hand side where the picnic tables are. The tea room has a fine selection of different teas and coffees from around the globe. It also has a menu of lighter options such as sandwiches, jack potatoes and salads. On a glorious sunny day like today, there really is no finer place to sample the best quality Northumbrian seafood, which was harvested from crystal clear waters only a few miles away. After polishing off that lot, you could finish with a freshly baked scone, warm slice of cake, or a few scoops of locally produced Doddington's dairy ice cream. In keeping with the historic character of Bamburgh, it retains an iconic red Model K6 telephone box. There are several handy information boards dotted about the village. We are still walking along Front Street. The Castle Inn has a good range of cask ales and offers a hearty, locally sourced menu with generous portions. The food here is more traditional, less frilly. It is good, honest grub that is highly regarded by locals and visitors alike. Dogs are welcome in the beer garden at the rear, but they're not allowed inside. We pass the premises of R. Carter & Son, otherwise known as the Bamburgh Butcher, another one of these hidden gems offering the finest quality Northumbrian produce sourced from farms only a few miles away. Carter's is particularly well regarded for its range of bacon and sausages. The shop also has a cracking range of homemade pies. The Victoria Hotel, which has rooms priced up to £150 per night, overlooks the village green. Despite its traditional appearance, most of the rooms are bright, modern and spacious. Downstairs is the award-winning Bailey's Bar and Restaurant, which has an extensive choice of food on its breakfast, brunch, main meal and afternoon tea menus. The Victoria describes its food as fresh as a northern breeze, and once again, a significant proportion is locally sourced. At the very top of Front Street you'll find a fairly new addition to the village, the Potted Lobster. Just as the name suggests, this bistro-style restaurant, which has previously been listed in the Michelin Guide, enjoys a fine reputation for its seafood, although its menu is now much broader than that. In addition to the signature dish, Potted Lobster, you'll also find a good selection of crab, shellfish and whitefish dishes, most of which have been sourced from local markets. The dessert menu includes such treats as passion fruit eaten mess, creme brulee, or for those that prefer savouries, a delicious Northumbrian cheese board. Dogs are welcome at the Potted Lobster. We're just about to join Radcliffe Road, which is home to the Grace Darling Museum. Grace was the daughter of Longstone lighthouse keeper William Darling. She lived with her parents at the Longstone Lighthouse, which is on one of the outer Farne Islands with the same name. On the 7th of September 1838, the waters off Northumberland were being battered by a violent storm. The paddle steamer Forfarshire was travelling from Hull to Dundee with a cargo of cotton and 61 souls on board. This is the Grace Darling Museum. The Forfarshire tried to take shelter in the lee of the Farne Islands, but instead it ended up dashed on the rocks of Big Harcar. Grace, who was only 21 years old at the time, looked out her bedroom window and saw the wreckage of the Forfarshire across the dangerously rough channel to Big Harcar. Many souls had already perished in the violent storm, but Grace and her father William took the brave decision to row out to Big Harcar and rescue any survivors. In a simple rowing boat known as a coble, they managed to save 9 people from the crashing waves and howling winds. The parish church of St Aidan is just across the road from the Grace Darling Museum. This is where Grace Darling's final resting place is. The present church dates from the 12th century. It has a crypt containing the remains of 110 people from the 7th and 8th century whose remains were excavated during an archaeological dig in the area. Both the church and the crypt are open to visiting members of the public. The church takes its name from St Aidan, an Irish monk and missionary credited with converting Northumbrians to Christianity on the holy island of Lindisfarne just a few miles further up the coast. Grace Darling was awarded the Gold Medal for Bravery by the Royal Humane Society. She was also awarded the Silver Medal for Bravery by the Royal National Institution for the Preservation of Life from Shipwreck, the predecessor organisation to the current Royal National Lifeboat Institution. She died tragically of tuberculosis on the 24th of October 1842, when she was aged only 26 years old. Her final resting place and memorial are at the western end of the church. The Gothic-style stone monument features a sleeping effigy of Grace beneath a three-arched canopy with metal colonnettes. She is clutching an oar which symbolises her act of great heroism in rescuing the survivors from the Forfarshire. The Grade II listed monument was erected by public subscription in 1842. It was designed by renowned County Durham architect Anthony Salvin. The vicar of Bamburgh, who is about to make a cameo appearance, is also the parish priest of St Hilda's Lucca and St Mary's Belford. We are now walking in an easterly direction along Church Street, heading back towards the castle. Bamburgh Village's public toilets are available on the left here. Many of the properties along Church Street are second homes or holiday lets. At the eastern end of the village green you will find a stone pant and drinking trough. It has a square corniced pier crowned by a Gothic superstructure open on all sides with lancets and square surrounds with cornice over. The pant features an iron spout in the shape of a lion's head. The Grade 2 listed structure, which is made of local sandstone, was erected in the early 19th century. This is the winding. It leads to several other important local features including Bamburgh Castle Golf Club, Stag Rock and Bamburgh Lighthouse. Bamburgh Lighthouse is the northernmost lighthouse in England managed by the General Lighthouse Authority, Trinity House. Across the road we can see the Lord Crewe Hotel from a wider angle. These are the grounds of Bamburgh Castle Cricket Club. This well manicured green open space is also used for general recreation as well as for cricket. It should be noted how well kept the village of Bamburgh usually is. The local community clearly takes great pride in their pretty little village. Beneath the castle, set slightly into the windstone cliff, we find Bamburgh War Memorial. The striking sculpture was recently rededicated. It was carved from a single slab of green Hornton stone by Andrea Melker and Classic Masonry of North Shields. The new sculpture is a perfect replica of the original figure of Christ on the Cross, which was erected shortly after the Great War by the second Lord Armstrong. The tower-like feature of the castle seen on the cliff top directly ahead is not actually an old dovecot like many of the locals believe. It is the remains of a windmill. We're now following the path around the northern end of Bamburgh Castle, which leads to the sand dunes and miles of unspoilt golden beach beyond. The North Northumberland coast is an area of outstanding natural beauty. As well as breathtaking scenery, it has a stunning array of flora and fauna. Bamburgh Beach is currently on a list of those recommended by the Marine Conservation Society for the crystal clear purity of its waters. The beach is very popular with surfers, kayakers, sunbathers and dog walkers alike. It is regularly cited as one of the top 50 beaches across the whole of the UK. Bamburgh Beach has previously held the prestigious Blue Flag Beach Award, but a general lack of facilities means it no longer does so. If you want remote, unspoilt coastal natural beauty, then Bamburgh Beach is definitely the place to go. If you're after burger vans, changing facilities and amusement arcades, then better give it a miss. Bamburgh Dunes is a site of special scientific interest. It is home to several endangered native plant species including the pyramidal orchid, centaureum, sea sandwort and petalwort. The dunes are also rich in insect life, which in turn attracts many different species of bird, including the grasshopper warbler, European stonechat, meadow pipit and reed bunting. Pausing briefly to take in the view, we can see the inner farn in the distance. In the opposite direction we can see Bamburgh Lighthouse. There are several apartments at the rear of Bamburgh Castle. Self-contained accommodation within the Neville Tower is available as a holiday let. The clock tower, overlooking the cricket ground, is also available to let. In recent years there has been growing concerns about the encroachment of non-native invasive plant species on the dunes. One method of tackling this has been to allow cattle to selectively graze in some areas, which explains the presence of wire fencing. One of the features that makes Bamburgh Dunes such a unique habitat for wildlife is that there are many pockets of water dotted amongst the established marram grass. This is a visitor car park for Bamburgh Castle. In normal times, on a sunny day like today, it would be heaving with cars. Today, with the nation still in the grip of coronavirus restrictions, the car park stands totally empty. We begin the short descent towards the Links Road car park, where our walking photo tour of Bamburgh will draw to an end. Here we are back at the Links Road car park, where our walking photo tour of Bamburgh draws to a conclusion. I hope you have enjoyed our walk around this medieval coastal village and enjoyed the snippets of information I have provided along the way. Thanks ever so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and stay tuned for our next walking photo tour.